Hey girls and guys and girls. So I can't live stream, right? Because I don't have 50 subscribers apparently, right? So it's the first time I've done a video for YouTube in a while, okay? It's been issued into my spirit that this one is a YouTube one because on my Instagram, even though I cover all areas, I don't think there's a lot of people who are currently in a place where they are being necessarily pruned for kingdom marriage, okay? And I hate putting it like that, but just saying your ordained partner, okay? I don't think there's very many who are at that point, but on YouTube, someone needs this word, okay? And this is for a dream that I just woke up out of, okay? So in my own personal journey, I've had to cut a lot of people out of my life, okay? And he has been saying that to a few people in general, that they need to cut a few people out of their life, right? Not because they're bad people necessarily, just because at this time in their life, they are not the people who are for them, okay? And it's the same with me. I don't know how long it's going to be, if it's forever or if it's just for a time being, but he has told me to stay away from certain people. The other day, I ended up being around these people, and I don't know if it was good or bad, but to me, as it says in the Bible, he turns all things that are for my bad into for my good, okay, into something for my good. So this is where this dream came from, because sometimes he will have us positioned in places so that we can be around certain people so that he can give us the dreams that he needs to give us, okay? You will understand what I mean by that, because sometimes he will send people that you've met along the way so that he can speak to you through the dreams, okay? How he speaks to me, most of the time is through my dreams, okay? And he has me break down my dreams and go and do the homework that's needed so that I can get the revelation from the dreams, okay? In this one, there was parts of it that was all over the place, but he specifically highlighted this point to me, okay? Because there's some work that needs to be done, okay? Not just for me in my situation, but in many others in this situation as well, okay? So the dream was I was at a function, okay? And it was like a big kitchen to the left of me, and like big contain like a big what's the thing that they put the food in, like when you go into a fast food shop, right? They've got this glass contained glass cabinet kind of thing that shows you all the food that's in there. It was like that, right? A big kitchen behind that, and then a table that was set out in front of me, like by my left, and we all had to like kind of go in a line down this table, like what you would do when you was going to school to pick up your school dinner. And on the table was just shrimp, okay? Now, I don't eat fish any longer. I used to be a pescatarian, but for the past couple of years, I'm vegan, right? So I looked at this table and was like, wow, I'm not eating that. Like, where's the food? Like, what am I supposed to eat? But at the time, I also felt like I couldn't afford the prices, right? So that kind of put me off as well. But then when I realized, like in the dream, it was like, of course I can pay for whatever I want to eat. I'm gonna do it, right? If I want to eat something. So from that point, excuse me, over on one of the tables was a couple of people that I know, which I won't say any names or anything like that, and they was all sitting there. So then that's when I turned around and asked, like, so where's the vegan food? And one of them said, yeah, where's the vegan food? And the person who was behind the counter where the food was, I knew them too, right? Personally. And they was like, oh, it's over here. So they directed us over to the place where the vegan food was, and it was like some really nice looking food, like curries and stuff like that. Like I like majority Indian food, Asian food. So it looked like their kind of curries, like chickpea curry, you know, aloo gobi, and like I can't properly pronounce the names and stuff, but those kinds of foods was there. And I was like, okay, then that's more my speed, right? So as I was about to get this food, the person started dishing up somebody else's food. Like there was a big chicken, like a full chicken that was there, and there was currying that or whatever and getting that ready for the next person. They gave a person a plate of food, and just before like I could actually even receive the food, this man comes and scoops me up, like literally puts his head between my legs and puts me on his shoulders. And I'm like, what's going on? And then like I've looked down and I've seen who the person is, and I've started giggling, and then we've embraced each other. But because he's way taller than me, it's like he's had to come down to my size. So when he's come down to my size now, and we're hugging each other, we just keep on hugging, and then like I've gone out side with him, and we're still embracing each other, and he's talking to me, and then all of a sudden there's like police behind me, and with handcuffs ready to try and take him away. And he says to me, them people that you see, that man there, he's trying to take me away. And I've looked behind, and that's when I've seen the police officers there. But there was a woman who was behind me, and the further back was like the men or whatever, and we've embraced and stuff, and like I didn't want to let him go, but it was like I had to let him go, okay? So as I've like let him go, all of a sudden it's like he's come out of a car. I don't know, streams for ya. He's come out of a car, and he's looked at me, and I've looked back at him, and like we've departed from that point, and they've obviously taken him away. So then I woke up, right? There was more to the dream. There was other parts to the dream that God's still working on a different word for those, because I feel like there's some other meaning towards that. But this part in particular, like he brought it straight back to my memory. And then I watched a video on YouTube, and they was talking about how they met and things like that, and how he slid in her DMs and she ignored him for years, etc., etc. And I don't know if that had anything to do with it, at least not at this moment. And I was like, I wonder if I've met this person before, like if I've met the person who's ordained for me before, and I've just not paid them any attention. So that kind of rang into my head as well. So I said I'll put that on here, because that could possibly be your situation too, because that wouldn't stick in my mind for no reason, okay? It's a possibility we've met the person before, okay, or we're currently around them, all right? Because as I said, recently, it's just recently I've come around these certain people again, right? And you know, there could be many links through the past that I've missed, or anything like that, or that we've missed, or that you've missed, okay? So don't rule that out, that you've not met the person already, okay? So yeah, I wrote in my notes, it says, when I was picked up by the tall man, as I was about to get fed, God issued into my spirit that this was my husband saving me. And when he needed me to save him because of some authority, I had to let him go. But I feel that this was needed to help him to get to the place he's supposed to be, as it is not time yet. There is still work to be done. Okay, so even though like I really didn't want to let him go, I had to let him go, right? He saved me from being fed from food, right, that was not going to sustain me, okay? What I was being fed by these people was not going to sustain me. This is why I felt that poverty at the beginning. I felt like I couldn't afford to buy the food, right? Because that place is where it's enchanted food that makes me stay behind, right? That doesn't make me feel like I'm elevating. And this is what he's saying. It could be possibly as well, don't eat from certain people, okay? Especially if they can be close to you, okay? Mine was somebody beginning with N, okay, and S, okay. So I don't know if that's gonna relate to anybody, but the food's enchanted, okay. either in the spirit or in the physical, and he's saying stay away from that food. Okay, when he came in, he saved me from eating from the table that's not going to sustain me or give me any nourishment. Okay, he came in and he saved me at that moment. And when I was to save him, because of an authority that was behind me, right, but before me, when you think of it, because there was higher, I couldn't do anything about it, right? It was a higher authority. So in this, he was either saying that he's allowed for this authority to come in and you know, take control of his life, or God has allowed this authority to come in so that he can do the changes and the things that need to be done in this man. Okay, so right now it's preparation season. Okay, many women are being prepared. He even gave me a dream a few nights ago. Okay, I put that on my Instagram, and I seen a woman, and he was speaking through the woman, and he says right now she doesn't look like, you know, she's there or much. I have the, because I have my dream journal. Okay, let me see. Yes, speaking through the woman, saying that they are not where they need to be yet, but he's doing a work within them. So don't be so quick to say they cannot change or be used, okay? And then after that, two women were presented in front of me in pink and with a veil over their face, okay? And one of them was Beyonce. And when I looked up Beyonce's name, it says one who surpasses others, okay? So in this season is an Esther season for many women who are out there, right? And who are being prepared. But he's saying, do not go back to those old ways. Do not go back to those old people that he has removed you from. Okay, he's removed you from these people for a reason, because there is a preparation that needs to be done in you. And if you go back to them, you are going literally backwards. It's not going to help you. It's not going to nourish you. It's not going to do the things that he plans to do inside of you. Okay, right now it may seem hard that you are being taken away from these people, old friends, family, whatever it may be, but he's saying it's for your own good. Okay, it's to help you through this whole process of getting you to where you need to be, so that you are prepared for your husband, right? And then I take everything back to the Bible. Okay, anyway, oh, this is the part sorry, where it says, God said, don't eat from their table. It's enchanted food. It's poverty mindset stricken and will hold you back again. Okay, so that was in my notes right there. And you see, right? And then I said, what verse of the Bible is it that I need that will tell me about me saving my husband and him saving me, right? Because I know that these things are Bible. So I got 1 Corinthians 7:16, and then I put the New Living Translation because it's a lot easier for people to understand, even though I like the King James Version. And it says, don't you wives realize that your husbands might be saved because of you? And don't you husbands realize that your wives might be saved because of you? Okay, so we're here and we're going to save each other. Okay, when you come into union with your person, your ordained husband or your ordained wife, whatever way it is for you, you are going to save them and they are going to save you. There are things that they are battling with that you can help them with, and there are things that you are battling with that they can help you with. That is why you are whole yourself as two individual people, but when you come together you will be made as one. Okay, because in the Bible it says two will be made as one. Okay, so he's saying in this time, do not go backwards, you're going forwards. And when you are going forwards, you have to do the things that are needed to be done. Sometimes there will be tests, there will be things that will be coming back up, right? Because in this dream there was fish there, shrimps, right? And I don't eat fish anymore, so it was like a temptation to go back to eating what I had already given up, right? So there's going to be things that are trying to come back in. There are going to be family members that are trying to come back in. Old habits, old mindsets that are going to be trying to come back in. And he's saying, do not go backwards. You need to come away from those things, okay? And for me, you know, when we speak about shrimps and things like that, for me, that's like small. Shrimps can be like plentiful abundance. There's two ways of looking at it. It can be plentiful or abundance, and it can be like the scavenge, like poor side as well, right? So plentiful, but they eat everything. Okay, they're like scavengers of the earth, right? You'll see them at the bottom of the sea eating the debris, the poo and all of that at the bottom of the sea, right? And in this, I didn't want that. Like, this was a small abundance when I want big fish. Okay, like, you've heard that saying before, I'm sure. Like, you're going for the big fish, you want the big fish. I don't want shrimp, right? So we're saying that if you go back, right, that's the mediocre blessings that you will have. You will be stuck in that poverty. Okay, poverty mindset, poverty in your finances, poverty in your relationships, things like that, right? So don't go backwards. I'm wondering if there's anything else that is hitting on in this as well. As I said, be careful where you're eating at, places that you go to go and eat. The food could look beautiful, but it's enchanted or it's just not for you, right? Personally, I eat at home, cook my own meals before I go anywhere. I rarely go out anywhere to eat. If I do, it has to be issued into my spirit that I can eat from here, and then I pray over everything. Okay, that's one thing that's missing in every household these days. People, when they're at home, even when you cook your own meals, you're supposed to pray over your own food, right? Especially if you're meat eaters, because I feel like there's something with the meat recently that a lot of people need to be careful of. I'm not sure what it is. Can't tell you that because he only gives me things in part, but hence why I don't eat meat anymore, because the meat just didn't taste right to me. And then he gave me dreams about the meat and the fish and things, and it turned my stomach and I just came right off of it, right? But that's me. He will give you directions on what your nutrition's supposed to look like, or your food's supposed to look like, what you're supposed to be drinking, etc., etc.